This is your courtside update, your front row seat to the drama of the hardwood. Tonight, we dive into the grit, the grind, and the glory, or lack thereof, as the Golden State Warriors find themselves caught in a dangerous dance with destiny. The spotlight is on, the pressure is mounting, and the clock is ticking. Just a few nights ago, the Warriors looked like they had found their rhythm again. After 3 straight wins, momentum was back on their side. They had climbed to the 5th seed in the Western Conference, and it seemed like they were on the verge of silencing the doubters. The chase for the playoffs was heating up, and Golden State was right in the middle of it, bold, confident, and finally looking like the team that once dominated the league. But then came Houston. The Warriors entered the Toyota Center with confidence, but what awaited them was a storm they didn't see coming. The Houston Rockets came out with intensity, toughness, and hunger. And when the final buzzer sounded, Golden State had been knocked back down. The score said it all, 112-104. It wasn't just a loss, it was a wake-up call. One that echoed loud and clear throughout the Western Conference. Stephen Curry, the face of the franchise, the 2-time MVP, the man who has carried this team on his back for over a decade, struggled. And struggled hard. He finished the game shooting just 1 for 10 from the field. Only one of those 10 attempts found the net, and it came from deep, going 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. He was double-teamed, crowded, bumped, and blanketed. The Rockets were relentless, taking away his space, his rhythm, his air. It wasn't just about bad shooting luck, it was about a defensive strategy executed to perfection. The Rockets dictated the style of play from the opening tip. They forced 20 turnovers, ran the break with authority, and attacked the paint with aggression. They outscored the Warriors 56-40 inside. They grabbed 16 offensive rebounds, giving themselves second and third chances on nearly every possession. They were first to loose balls, first up for rebounds, and first in effort. In every hustle stat, in every gritty detail, they were just first. Golden State, on the other hand, looked sluggish. Disconnected. Outmuscled. It wasn't just Steph having a rough night. Draymond Green found himself in foul trouble early in the third quarter. With 5 fouls hanging over him, he had to sit, and his presence, his leadership, his voice, his defensive IQ, vanished from the court when they needed it most. That left the paint vulnerable. And Rockets center Alperen Sengun took full advantage, crashing the boards and dominating the interior, capitalizing on Draymond's absence. While the Warriors' stars faded, Houston's young guns rose. Dillon Brooks had the kind of game that turns heads. He dropped 24 points on an ultra-efficient 10 of 13 shooting night. But even more impressive than his scoring was his defense. He hounded Curry, never letting him get comfortable, and played with a level of intensity that changed the game's tone. Jalen Green was just as impactful. With 21 points, smooth drives, and a confident swagger, he showed why the Rockets believe in him as a future star. Together, they were the engine that drove Houston's upset. There were bright spots for Golden State, moments of promise buried in a difficult night. Jonathan Kuminga, despite a quiet scoring game, finished with a team-best +9 in plus-minus. His energy, his positioning, and his on-ball defense kept the Warriors afloat during stretches when everything else was falling apart. And then there was Brandon Podziemski. The rookie refused to fold. He finished with 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. His effort never dipped. His fight never faded. He played like he belonged, and like he wanted it more than anyone else on the floor. Still, for the first time all season, the Warriors' go-to lineup, Curry, Podziemski, Jimmy Butler, Moses Moody, and Draymond Green, tasted defeat. They had been a perfect 14-0 together, but tonight that chemistry couldn't overcome the storm that Houston brought. Moses Moody was off rhythm. Jimmy Butler, a proven playoff performer, was surprisingly passive. He took only 7 shots all night. His aggression wasn't there. His usual fire, his ability to take over a game, felt dimmed. And in a game where every shot, every moment, mattered, that hesitation came at a cost. With this loss, the Warriors dropped from the 5th seed to the 6th in the Western Conference standings. But more than that, they've now found themselves entangled in a four-way tie with the Lakers, Timberwolves, and Grizzlies. Tiebreakers make things complicated. And in a conference this tight, every game, every quarter, could swing the entire postseason landscape. The truth is stark: if Golden State slips to 7th, they enter the dreaded play-in tournament. And as we all know, one bad night in a play-in game could end the entire season. That's not just a scary thought, it's a real possibility. And for a team with an aging core, extra games are extra risk. Extra fatigue. Extra pressure. This team has already played a lot of basketball over the years. Championships. Finals. Deep playoff runs. Their legs have carried them far, but those legs are older now. They don't need more games. They need rest. They need time. And the only way to get that is to stay out of the play-in. The only way to do that? Win now. Finish strong. The road ahead is narrow and unforgiving. 4 games remain. 4 final chapters in the regular season story. Next up, the Phoenix Suns. A test of fire and finesse. Then, the San Antonio Spurs, with their unpredictable pace and the looming presence of Victor Wembanyama. After that, the Portland Trail Blazers, scrappy, fearless, and looking to play spoiler. And finally, the game that could decide everything, the Los Angeles Lakers. Old rivals. High stakes. A battle for positioning, pride, and postseason future. The math is simple. Golden State needs to go at least 3-1 in these last 4 games. That's the bar. Anything less, and they risk sliding into the chaos of the play-in. Anything less, and their path to the title becomes a mountain. But here's the thing, this team has been here before. When the world doubts them, they respond. When the pressure rises, they elevate. This is a franchise that's been battle-tested, forged in the fires of competition, and crowned as champions not once, not twice, but multiple times. They know what it takes. They know how to rise. Stephen Curry will bounce back. He always does. The greatest shooters in history don't let a bad night define them. They use it. They build from it. Expect him to return with fury, ready to light up the court and remind everyone who he is. Draymond Green knows what's at stake. Expect focus. Fire. Leadership. Control. Expect the heartbeat of this team to come alive when it matters most. Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski are no longer just the future, they're the now. They've proven they can contribute. They've earned their minutes. And they'll be ready to step up again. Jimmy Butler? He's got to be the X factor. The closer. The fire starter. This team needs his intensity. His fight. His will to win. He doesn't need to drop 40. He just needs to show up with that relentless mindset that's made him a postseason legend. This is no longer just about matchups or stats. This is about belief. This is about character. This is about refusing to let the season slip away. Every player in that locker room knows what's on the line. And now it's time to show it. The Warriors are down, but they're not out. They've stumbled, but they haven't fallen. Yes, the Western Conference is brutal. Yes, the road is steep. But this team wasn't built for easy paths. They were built for battles. They were built for comebacks. They were built for this. So to the fans, hold on tight. To the critics, write them off if you dare. Because when the lights get brightest, the Warriors remember who they are. The playoffs are coming. The noise is loud. The pressure is real. But this fight? It's just getting started. And here's the key takeaway from the channel: delve into financial education to enhance your quality of life. Within the financial market, explore bonds and shares, particularly focusing on real estate investment trusts, which offer the potential for passive income. Engage with this responsibly and consider reputable investment brokerages worldwide.